Alrighty then, it's time for a Yorick video, and this one is going to discuss as to what can be done with Yorick. Which one? He's already going to be getting a rework, but that rework's been in planning for like 3 years now, and he hasn't received the skin either, so I hope they have a skin in mind for him too. Interestingly enough, Yorick's rework had been released, quote unquote, a few months ago. Well, not months, almost like a year ago. And the proposed ideas were stupid. He had this shovel pole vault and throwing ghouls at people. Not like he does right now, like he just summons them and they gnaw at people. Like he actually threw ghouls at people. It was weird. You could probably look it up on Reddit. Anyways, I just want to mention this early game phase as Yorick. I love it so much. Fun fact, Yorick is one of my guilty pleasure champions. I really like this champion because the amount of value he has in his kit is ridiculous. His ultimate is arguably one of the most valuable ultimates in the game in terms of gold efficiency. But it's also very variable. It could be completely garbage or completely unlimited. You know, if you ult evade and she's in a good spot, she'll kill the enemy team. If she's not, then it might as well have not ulted anything. Anyways, watch this gank. I tag the Tryndamere, and then I stand away from the tower, just tanking it and letting Lee Sin kill him. The result of that is that Tryndamere dies, he burned flash for some reason. Tryndamere dies to Lee Sin. I tank all the towers. I'm away from the tower so I don't get shot down or outplayed or anything. And I don't have to burn my flash. See, the thing is, if I had gone for the Tryndamere, the most I could do is tag him with some awkward ghouls and not really do anything. I will take too much turret damage. Lee Sin alone had enough damage to bring him down. Same thing here. Lee Sin goes in, I just tanked all those minions with my ghouls, and I'm just kind of hovering away from the Tryndamere so he doesn't get some kind of lucky shot. And I just kind of hit him with the shovel the second he gets close enough. Watch this too. Shaco is going to pop out trying to be all badass, and I'm just going to turn around right now after I see him put down his Jack in the Box, and I just start hitting him on the head, draining my healing myself up with E, and then Lee Sin comes in with the safeguard. I'm not quite sure if the safeguard would actually made a difference, but still, the idea of him coming back and paying attention was a really nice one. Now, one of the things that a lot of people underestimate about Yorick is that he has so much damage. He actually deals a lot of damage. The problem he has is that he can't really inflict the damage. Like in team fights, I mean. In lane, you're kind of stuck being toe-to-toe with people. That's why against ranged champions he gets destroyed, but against most melee, they're forced to be in a room with him. It's something like that Rorschach kind of thing. It's like, I'm not in top lane with you, you're in top lane with me. And there used to be a running joke that when your enemy's playing Yorick, you're not playing League of Legends today. And it's still kind of true. Aside from his really crippling mana issues, in the lane phase, there's nothing really wrong with Yorick. He's got crazy amounts of sustain, his pushing is incredible, and his damage is rather brutal. And one thing that a lot of people underestimate is his passive. His passive is one of the most value chock-full things ever. I believe it increases his damage according to the number of ghouls he has out, and his defenses. So he's pretty much just going to manhandle anybody who dares to fight him with his homies out. And I think, I'm not too sure, you can confirm it for me if you want, that his ultimate also adds to that because it counts as a ghoul, I believe. So it's 20% 20% attack and 20% on defenses. So, like in a one-on-one fight, him popping every ghoul in his ultimate is just going to destroy you. And in fact, you actually get to see that at one point. The thing, though, is that in team fights, Yorick gets kited a lot. The most what he can do is run up to people and hit them with a shovel, and hopefully they die. But his damage is not monumental enough compared to a lot of other champions at that point. Like, most of Yorick's damage is locking you down and repeatedly bashing your brains in with a shovel. So I gotta clear my throat. He'll toss in his W, slow you down, hit you with his Q and speed up, use his E whenever he can to heal himself up, and then just continuously do that until you die. So it's not bursty, it's mostly just attrition, and we know that's not exactly the best way to win fights. Sustained damage is not really looked fondly for any champion, really. But he just doesn't die. He's really hard to kill. He'd be nearly impossible to kill if he didn't have crippling mana issues. One of the worst things about Yorick, in whatever way you would choose to play him, top lane or jungle, because I play him in both, is his mana is so bad. The way he spams his abilities and how much they cost makes it so you have to invest in some mana in some way. Hell, you could see me run out of mana even though I have a frozen heart at a tier of the goddess. Just the amount of spam you have to do as Yorick drains your mana pool. And that's one thing that has to be addressed by Riot. The reason why they give him a limited mana pool is because if he, in his current state, if his mana wasn't so shit, he'd run over anybody in top lane. He already kind of does, but his mana prohibits him from being too crazy. Like, it just keeps him quote-unquote fair enough against a lot of matchups. Like when he was buffed, when his mana was buffed, and when his items were a lot cheaper and a lot better to equip early on, he became insane. And remember, he was quite dominant for just a short while, but still, one of his ultimate is one of the strongest in the game in terms of, again, value. Like, again, if I give my ultimate to Lucian, and Lucian didn't get to use his abilities, all of a sudden Lucian gets to use his abilities. If I give my ultimate to Annie, who didn't get a chance to use Tibbers, all of a sudden she gets to use Tibbers and blow the enemy team up before she, descends into the underworld. If I use it on someone like Orianna, who already blew all her abilities, and of course it's not going to have any value. So it's just completely variable. And sometimes when you use your ultimate, the enemy team has moved away from them, didn't finish off the target, so your ghost is just kind of standing there awkwardly, or your teammate gets tossed away, or your teammate ran away, so their ghost spawns in a really inopportune time. Either way, watch this. Tryndamere fights me, but of course I pop every ghoul, including my ultimate, and it's just, he comes close to killing me, but just not enough, because my cooldowns keep refreshing at a rate that he can't handle. And even if he would kill me, my ghoul would just finish him off, my revival ultimate. That's just the kind of shit that Yorick gets to pull off, just non-stop, like, ghoulification, right? It's a really dumb word to be using, but yeah. So, what Riot needs to do is make him fair. Make him fair in lane, but make him not lose his identity. Like, right now, he's the only champion I can think of that summons the own movable minions on a regular abilities. I mean, like, yeah, Malzahar has his passive, and Annie has Tibbers, but and Azir has his soldiers, but you know what I mean. Like, he's the only quote-unquote beastmaster in the game. Unfortunately, he has no control of his ghouls, and I figure if he did, it might cause even more balance issues, because you just constantly use it to swarm people, and it doesn't matter if they get gold out of it, you'll just harass them to hell and back with them. Riot, okay, like, I'll be honest, he's one of the champions I don't even know where they could begin to properly change him. I know they have to make his sustain go down. They have to give him some mana to make up for it, but if he doesn't have his E, then he's just going to get bullied around because his other abilities aren't impressive. He's got absolutely no mobility outside of actually hitting someone with his Q, but his Q in itself, if you're in range to use his Q, then you're not really in dire need of that mobility. And his W, again, is not the best CC. So this is why I'm leaving it up to a lot of you guys. Give me your ideas for Yorick, because he, again, is one of my guilty pleasures. I really like Yorick as a champion, but he's just so full of flaws and so full and lacks any real team composition he truly fits in outside of protect compositions. Like, watch here. Me and Lee Sin are fighting. We're the biggest champions in our team. They can't do anything to me, so they just choose to ignore me, but I can do a lot of damage to the Cassiopeia because they're leaving me unchecked. Lee Sin jumps back in, and he's about to die, so I throw my ghost on him. He gets picked off by the Draven here, but that's a massive mistake. He didn't notice Lee Sin had a ghost. So Lee Sin comes back and kills the Draven. Though Draven was probably going to die regardless. It's just kind of the idea here at play. This is the kind of way you'd want to be using Yorick's ultimate. The prime targets for it, again, are your CC machines, who they didn't actually get to use the CC because they got killed. They're getting killed prior to it or getting locked down. Your super fed mega carry, Vayne, Lucian, Yorick, that kind of stuff, or a teammate that's about to die, so you can guarantee you're going to get the value off his ultimate. And hopefully it's somebody that's moderately big. Like, yeah, the Lee Sin wasn't as fed as he is, and he was building more tanky. He wouldn't be a good target. So yeah, consider that in your terms of priority. Like, if you ult a full health Vayne and she doesn't take any damage, sure, the Ghost does do quite a bit of damage by itself, but you're not getting its full value. And that kind of actually speaks to the whole idea behind Yorick. He's got so much amazing, delicious value in his kit, but not a lot of it is you can't actually use it all. Like your ghoul passive isn't going to be used because your ghouls will just probably die to some AoE or just be destroyed, or you'll be CC'd before your ghouls come out, so you won't get to use it. If you get to use all your full value and start bashing people in their brains in, they've probably just let you walk up to them, so they deserve to die. And then again, your ultimate just has so many moments in which you're probably not even making full use of it. So I want Yorick so badly to be good. Like right now, he's usable definitely, but I've had games when I'm Yorick. I get big, I get fed, kind of like I am right now. And I actually get to punish the enemy team in a lot of situations or walk up to them and murder people, but there's not much Yorick can do in a lot of situations that don't go his way. Like all of a sudden, if let's say my Lucian was suicidal, thankfully he's not. And let's say Lucian was suicidal, and I can't use my ghost properly on him. I can't single-handedly turn around the fight. I can bog them down, I can slow them down and kill somebody, maybe, just maybe. But in any other situation, I'll just probably get pushed around, CC, knocked back, or whatever. So, so yeah, he's more of a support jungle. I mean, not support jungle, support champion. And if I play him in the jungle, it's quite fun to actually play him in the jungle because you get to solo objectives like crazy. At level 3, you can solo dragon. Like just if you use your ghouls properly and you space them out properly, they'll always tank a shot for you, though you'll take one every now and then. It's really fun to do that. As a jungler, his sustain is one of the most funky. His health sustain is crystal perfect. It is 100. You will clear at basically 100% health once you get 2 ghouls. But your mana will always be an issue. It's just like you keep popping up the ghouls and they tank for you and you dodge and weave and you cause them monsters to lose their auto attacks. It's really funny. Either way, as you've seen in this entire game, I've just kind of been a walking ball of unkillable fatness. I walk into the enemy's fire, absorb their shots, or I go up to them and hit them with my shovel because they know if they focus me, it's going to be a lot of wasted effort. I go in, tank the towers, I go in, tank anything. That's just kind of what I'm doing. If they try to pass by me, I hit them with my shovel and they get slowed down tremendously and they get hurt really badly. Like, well, now that I have the Murasama or whatever it was called, I do a shitload. Like, watch here. Draven has absolutely no escapes. So the second I catch him, I actually chunk him quite a bit. And that's I mean, if I wasn't as big as I am right now or as quote-unquote farmed, I wouldn't be able to do that much damage, or he might be able to kill me quicker. But that's kind of, again, the gist of what Yorick just does. You just walk up to people, hit them with your shovel, and hope for the best. If your teammate's about to die, you pop a ghost on them, and otherwise you just kind of throw ghouls everywhere. That's his gameplay, and it's kind of you can see why it's going to be impossible to properly balance him. 3 years, and Riot hasn't given us anything except that really shitty rework they suggested some years back. Again, you can Google it. It's just so bad. I think, I don't even think they've announced his rework yet. I think they delayed it even further for Poppies and Terex. That's just how unloved Yorick is. Like, yeah, Zach got a skin, Yorick still hasn't gotten a skin. Either way, watch this. I go back, stop Tryndamere, force him back out, and I'm going to walk my ass back all the way to bottom lane. Like, I'm getting tired of this split pushing shenanigans. I can split push myself, but the rest of my team isn't putting pressure anywhere else, so I can't do it. So I have a feeling that I should just shove the lane with them. So I walk down there, I make sure not to use my teleport just in case the Tryndamere actually manages to do a lot of damage. And watch this. I'm just gonna ignore everything, and I'm gonna walk up. I'll walk up to them. It's like the turret. I don't think. Yeah, the turret's gonna focus me. I go to the Soraka. I go to the Draven. There's literally nothing they can do. My ghouls are just too much. I'm too big. I'm too unkillable, and that's just kind of the gist of it. I think in a way, Tam is now taking the place of Yorick as my go-to fatty ass champion that I'll refer to. But yeah. By the way, any ideas you have for Yorick's rework, put them in the comments below. Yay. This channel is supported by my sponsors, Crunchyroll, Pro Build Systems, and Loot Crate. Check out the description below for links to the websites. Signing up for any trials, including Crunchyroll's free anime trial, greatly supports my channel. Also remember to give the video a like to support the channel and subscribe if you haven't yet.